Good day, social media. This is your architect, project manager, sustainable development consultant, Colin-John Jenkins. And today I'm going to do another PSA concerning roofs. Now, I had an interesting question from LinkedIn where a person reached out and asked if I thought it would have been beneficial for them to build using concrete roofs instead of the regular pitch roofs. So let me make a quick disclaimer. My views expressed here are solely my own, and they derive from my professional experience and opinion. So now that we get that out the way, I wanted first to let us look at something that's really important. First, let's look at this detail of a typical roof outline. This is like you take a knife and slice at the edge of the building where the roof meets the wall. You take note that I've highlighted in red where there is a rafter steel, like a rafter anchor that goes around the rafters and sort of ties itself into the wall using a concrete beam. Sometimes there are persons who don't do it like this in other countries. We've found over the years that this is the best method to help hold the roof down to the structure. There's typically an overhang where you'd see the fascia away from the wall. That varies. I like to reduce it as much as possible just to make sure the wind don't have anything to hold on to. And let's look at this another image which has to do with inside. They have collar ties, which are the horizontal members that help to hold the roof down in place, and they're bolted through the rafters. And why this is important is because in terms of holding a roof down to a structure, especially during a hurricane, you'll find that these elements are what help dramatically. There are two styles which you'd see in Antigua and Barbuda, and I suspect around the Caribbean as well. Georgia and Victorian architecture, and sometimes a mix of both. In the first image, which shows the Victorian architecture, you notice the triple roofs, and you notice that they're pitched very high. And the same overhang that we're talking about is almost little less than nothing. It's very small, and they have the guttering on that end. Now, that's done for various reasons. When you talk about not having anything to uplift, that's important. When you talk about the fact that those are pitched that high, it makes resistance better in terms of the wind. Uplift is reduced dramatically, and it's also used as attic spaces, used as spaces to reduce the heat in the low areas where people are normally occupied. So there are a lot of benefits here to that. Engineers would tell you from their experience that the hip roof is slightly more resistant than the gable roof because of the shape. The hip roofs you'd see here in the Georgian version architecture a lot. It's something that you'd see, like for example, reminiscent of the pyramids in Egypt. So hip roofs are really good at resistance, and so are gables, but most persons who are engineers will tell you that they prefer hip roofs. And of course the angles, like we mentioned, are very important. So anything beyond 6 and 12, which is 12 horizontal, 6 vertical, and that gives you your Pythagoras theorem in terms of the slope of the hypotenuse. So that's math coming in there for you. The pitches of the roof are very important. The steeper, quote unquote, the pitches, the more resistant it is for hurricanes, like we touched on before. Now, concrete roofs are great in terms of course, you can't really uplift like that in terms of the roof being concrete. There's some pros and cons to concrete. And when you think about climate change and the heat in spaces right now, if that concrete roof is not insulated properly, if the spaces don't have enough ventilations, you can quickly see how soon the space can become very hot. My personal opinion on it is not necessarily that we need to do our concrete roofs. It should really be a mix between both. So you can have concrete roofs and you can have pitch roofs in some instances, specific locations, etc. But concrete roofs could be a small part of even small homes where you would set up a room or design a room or build a room in such a way that it becomes like your safety zone, like your strong room for your home. And so that's something that can be looked at for persons who are thinking about or preoccupied about what they're doing with their homes going forward. Right, so today If you have any further questions, or didn't want to do a long video today, you can simply drop it below. I'll try my best to answer it. If I can't, I could ask someone in the engineering field to trip in. If you like the video, share it, and have a great day. Let's keep our eyes out on the storms and make as best decisions as we can to survive climate change and the future. All right, thank you.